What's wrong with modern anime? Is it that hard to make 26 straight episodes? Enough with all the parts and the cores. Whatever you do consecutively, that is what should be considered your season. Is that really asking too much? The reason I'm ranting about this yet again is because when I reviewed Tiger and Bunny 2 just a few months ago, I thought that was it. I didn't expect a Tiger and Bunny 2 Part 2 to suddenly pop up just a few months later. So here we are having to talk about the show again. Now, when I talked about what we will retroactively call Season 2 Part 1, I thought that pointing out the daddy issues was still somewhat insightful. I mean, yes, obviously, Tiger is Bunny's father figure, as well as being a father figure to pretty much all of the younger heroes. And in Season 2 Part 1, we saw a similar dynamic on the enemy's side as well. There was nothing subtle about it, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who noticed, but who else is going to specifically make a video calling them out on the term daddy issues? I had to do it. Well, here we are half a year later, and watching Tiger and Bunny Season 2 Part 2, I thought maybe they were going to tone down the daddy issues since they went really hard with the daddy issues in Part 1. But no, they go all the way up to Mr. Legend and the Lunatic. So at this point, it's just kind of low-hanging fruit. Now, I'm not here just to be critical or to pat myself on the back for being so right, but I also want to give some credit where credit's due and talk about what I did like in Season 2 Part 2. First of all, Bunny got more involved. He was kind of a non-factor in Season 1, so it was good to see him back in action. And there were some very good action scenes in Part 2, especially towards the end. What impressed me most about Season 2 Part 2 was that it actually pulled off some misdirection, which is kind of surprising for Tiger and Bunny. In this show, usually, the moment a character is introduced, you know exactly what you're going to get. You can tell exactly what the character's personality is based solely on their appearance and their initial behavior, and you can pretty much guess what their likely role or contribution to the show is going to be. You see a guy with a really crooked face, you know that's the bad guy. You see some of these heroes and you immediately know this guy is probably fundamentally good but just has trouble working with others and can't express himself. Stuff that's, what you see is what you get. But in Season 2 Part 2, I was actually fooled on at least 2 occasions. There were 2 characters who did things that I didn't really expect, and I'm really happy about that. I would rather feel dumb for being tricked than feel like a genius for being able to predict everything that will happen based on my initial impressions. So that's enough to make me want to give this show a single plus despite all the continued daddy issues. And one more thing I want to point out. This show is usually on top if it's in-show English, but at the very end, that final scene, you gotta run that by the translators.